ubhe tyaja satyanrute ubhe tyaktva yena tyajasi tat tyaja. So glorifying the vairagya, he says you should give up dharma and adharma. Means kartavya and akartavya. That means take to life of sannyasa. So as long as sense of doership is there, as long as you identify, raga is there, in absence of vairagya, you keep doing. That kartavyata is also raga. I have to do this. So there is a raga for vishaya and there is raga for karma. That is a typical Indian raga. Swamiji, it is our responsibility. We have to upbring grandchildren. The daughter-in-law doesn't want. But they have that hang-up. We have to upbring. We have to do that. Like in this place where I live, I used to live now, not much now, in Saurashtra. In the beginning, 88 somewhere. And I used to have classes, morning, evening. So I used to tell them, okay, why don't you come in the evening class? Swamiji, how can we come? I said, how can you not come? When you come in the morning, you can come in the evening. No, morning we can come, but evening we cannot come. I said, why? So how can we keep the house locked if someone comes? ઘરે તાળું કેમ દેવાય? કોઈ આવે તો પાછું જાય ને. So આતિથ્યમ is also kartavyam. There is a value. So these are all raga. So he says, give up that. Take to life of sannyasa. Tyaja dharmam adharmam cha satyanrute ubhe tyaja. Then, just by renouncing the world is not enough. The renouncer is to be renounced. Yena tyajasi, by whom you gave up everything, that has to be given up. That means what? Falsify the ahankara. Discover the mithyatvam of ahankara. That is the shloka. Okay, that's what I quoted. So merely life of sannyasa is not enough. It's good to have vairagya. Some people do have dispassion. Their mindset is like that. But they don't come to class. They don't study Shastra. And they think that they don't have ahankara. Swamiji, I don't have any ahankara. I never advertise. I never demand. I just live a simple life. But I live, that is ahankara. So that has to be given up. Means Shastrani Patha. One has to study Shastra. Then second is Gnatum Shakyam, Gnatum Ashakyam. I said with reference to karma. In action, you have a choice. Kartum, to do, akartum, not to do, and do it otherwise. For every action. Therefore, same thing is pursued by different people in a different ways. And some people don't pursue it also. That is their choice. What you don't pursue, the others pursue, and what others don't pursue, you pursue. It's subjective. So karma is subjective. Knowledge cannot be subjective. So when you see, when there is an object to be known, and when appropriate and adequate means of knowledge is there, you will have to know. This object is there to be taken. Suppose I say, take this glass. You have means to take, hands and legs. Still, you may choose not to take otherwise. Ask Swamiji, come on, throw Swamiji to me, I'll catch it. That also is possible. So kartum, akartum, anyatha. But I say, look at this, what is in my hand? The object to be known is here. Means to know is there with you, the eyes. But you don't have a choice to know or not to know. You will know. And you don't have a choice to know otherwise. You may say throw, or you get up and take, or you ask somebody, please take and give me. But that is not there. So gnatum, agnatum, anyatha gnatum, karmavat na shakyam. Okay? So this was in reference to karma. Kartum, akartum, anyatha kartum shakyam. You have a choice over action. You have no choice in knowledge. I don't know the meaning of Rudra in detail, Rudram. Just the gist of it, so I tend to lose connection. What do I do? Well, there is a book by Puja Swamiji, commentary on Rudram, you can read. And if you know Gujarati, my student Swamini Dhanyananda has started weekly classes in Gujarati on Rudram. It is online class. She takes in the evening 7 o'clock or something. I will see the time and let you know. So you can attend that if you want to know. The gist of Rudram is this. You will see all Namaha, Namaha, Namaha. You know? So there are 300 names. Based on this Rudram, we have Rudra Trimshatihi. Like Vishnu Sahasranama, you can chant the shloka, Vishvam Vishnu Vashatkaro, etc. And we have 1,000 names. Om Vishnave Namaha, Vishwasvai Namaha, Vashatkaraya Namaha. Similarly, the Rudram, you may have 300 names. The gist or the essence of Rudram is only this much. Or essence of Vishnu Sahasranam is only this much. Our vision of Ishvara is abhinna nimitta upadana karana, vivarta upadana karana. Since Ishvara is the material cause, no vastu that is created can stand away from its material. A pot can be away from potter, but not the clay. An ornament can be away from the goldsmith, but not the gold. So creation is not separate or away from Ishvara. That is our vision. That means Ishvara is manifesting as the world. Just as you can say, gold is manifesting as ornaments. Clay is manifesting as pots and etc. All the things. Similarly, Ishvara is manifesting as Jagat. So this Namaha Namaha, called Namakam, means, oh Ishvara, I do namaskar to you as the creation, who manifest as creation. All the forms are nothing but you. So Vishwarupa Paramatmane Namaha. That's one sentence. The Ishvara who is in the form of Vishwa, my namaskara. That means you are everything. So also Sahasranam. Listen, please understand this thing also. We have 1,000 names for all our Bhagavan. You know, you have Vishnu Sahasranama, Shiv Sahasranama, Devi Sahasranama, Ganesha Sahasranama, Kartikeya Sahasranama, Surya Sahasranama, everything is there. Why 1,000 names? Even in Purushukta, you chant Sahasra Shirsha Purusha, Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. You know that Purusha having 1,000 heads, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 legs. Even in Gita, the Vishwarupa Darshana which Arjuna had in 11th chapter, there also he says, oh, you have 1,000 heads and 1,000 eyes and etc. And not only that, you are shining, the brilliance that you have. Divi Surya Sahasras, as though 1,000 suns have risen on the horizon. That brilliance is emitting from you. Every time 1,000. Please understand, 1,000 is not number indicative, not Sankhya-vachi. It indicates limitlessness. 1,000 word indicates limitlessness. Otherwise, Bhagavan having 1,000 heads, but only 1,000 eyes. Is like this. Ramdev syndrome. And Bhagavan having 1,000 legs only. Actual shloka mantra should be Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Dvi Sahasraksha Dvi Sahasrapad. Should be that way. But it is not indicating the number. 1,000 is indicating infinitude. Figuratively. Like we say, he has, in those days we used to say he has millions of rupees. Now we say billions. That means a lot of money. Okay, so Rudram is over. They must be having in bookstall that book, Swamiji's commentary. Why did Yajnavalkya go to the forest? Wasn't he already Gnani? Did you know his wife? Then ask the question. Then ask the question. There is a joke, Why did Sitaji prefer to go to forest with Rama? 3 mother-in-laws. Who would like to stay? So she opted out. And he himself says, it is, understand, knowledge. I understand the question. I'll answer, okay? It was the lighter side of answering the question. Knowledge has nothing to do with the lifestyle. So we have Jnanis living different lifestyle or opposite to each other. There is a shloka. Shuko yogi Krishno bhogi Nrupalau Janaka Raghavau. Shukdevji was yogi. It was said for Shukdevji that he was Digambar and Parivrajaka. Never stayed any place more than one Godohana Samaya. Till you milk the cow, he will go. Never wore clothes. Krishna Bhogi. Krishna had 16,008 wives. He was involved in the politics. Nrupalau Janaka Raghavau. Janak Raja and Rama were kings. Vasishtadhyaha karmanishtaha. Vasishthaji and Vishwamitraji were performing yajnas. But all of them were wise. Gnanina sarve samaha. All wise are same. The 4th chapter also, there are verses. When this karmaniya karma, from 18 to 24 verse, in between there are verses describing lifestyle of a wise person. One is fully engaged in karmas and one is totally out of it. It is the prakriti or the background of the mind and the prarabdha of the person. He or she adopts the lifestyle. For a wise person, when everything is mithya, any lifestyle is mithya. Nothing can touch him. Lifestyle also don't touch him. Therefore, in Vivek Chudamani very aptly says, Shankaracharya says, how does he live? His prarabdha. Our prarabdha is governed by two things, our destiny and our desires. Destiny presents and we have also will. We push it. He has nothing to desire, no will, no axe to grind. So he says, how does a wise person live? Prarabdham pushyati vapuhu. As the prarabdha takes. That pushyati can be English also. Prarabdham pushyati vapuhu. It leads him. So he lives wherever the situation demands and he responds. No subjectivity. If the situation demands, I need to do this, he does it. So depending upon the nature of a person, they lived a lifestyle. Yajnavalkya was a grahastha. And what your question, wasn't he gnani? Yes, he was already a wise person. Because before departing to life of sannyasa, he gives upadesha to his one of the wives, Maitreyi, that Atmanastu Kamaya, that some of the mantras you may know. So he was a wise person. But he chose not to be in the samsara. For a wise person, he has a freedom to be or not to be. Why not? Why should he desire and why should he not desire? There is no compulsion. Tatra vedaha aveda bhavanti. So he chose to do it. Like otherwise I'll put you. If you see, prarabdham pushyati vapuhu, how prarabdha takes to. And they prefer to submit to prarabdha. And some of them don't want that. Sankalpa, they just don't want. We have two examples of total contradiction. Total opposite lifestyle. One is Puja Chinmayananji and his Guruji Puja Tapovanji Maharaj. Tapovanji Maharaj took to sannyasa at the age of 35. He was a rich landlord. Father had died, ran the business, saw to it the younger brother gets married, settles. In those days, he must have had enough pressure to get married. But he managed that. And once that younger mother was there, he had the children, then he slowly started moving out. I'm going for yatra. We'll come back after some days. Slowly trained them that he may go. And one day he went, yat gatva na nivartante. He went never to come back. Straight to Himalayas. And it is mentioned, he never came down below Rishikesh. In his middle age, when he was fairly young, he lived at Gangotri. And in summer, went further up 2 months, Gomukh. And as the age advanced, body gave up, so he moved back to Gangotri, Gomukh to Gangotri. And summer Gomukh. Then further down, by 50s, Uttarakashi and Gangotri. Then last stage, Rishikesh and Uttarakashi. There was a room. I don't know where still it is there or not. Some of you have gone near Kailas Ashram. There is a small bridge, and in one corner, a room used to be there. Most respected in Himalayas. Swami Shivananda ji used to call him Himalaya ke Badshah. Chinmayanji had two gurus, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. So initiation to sannyasa was done by Shivananji. And traditionally we never had intellectual property rights on knowledge, and this, you belong to this tradition and this guru and this group. They study from everywhere. Even now also in our ashram and Kailas ashram it is open. Some classes are going on, somebody wants to study, you come and study and go, need not take Diksha, need not be a Shishya. They will give you room. There is no, of course our ashram has regular courses, but in Kailas ashram there will be board. Morning 6 to 7, Panchadashi chapter 11 by Swami Gnananand. 7 to 8, Brahma Sutra chapter 1 by Swami Vijnananand Giri. Then 9 to 10, and somebody comes, I want to study Brahma Sutra. They will give you room, eat here and study. After studying you can go away. Need not make that person guru. Swami Vivekananda himself has studied in Rishikesh. So there are two, Diksha and Shiksha. So when Chinmayanji, Shivananji never taught regularly Upanishad. He did satsanga and yoga and all that. When he expressed a desire to study Shastra, he himself connected him to Taran, Guruji Maharaja. Go to him and study. He studied from Guruji Maharaja. He felt Shishyatvam with that person. So he said, he is my guru. Now they are totally opposite. Tapovanji never uttered a single word except teaching. He would sit on the Ganges bank, keep watching Ganga and quiet. And in those days, Chinmayanji was given award, and because of that there was inquiry from Income Tax Department. The highest flyer of the country. He used to fly up and down taking Gnana Yagnas. And that's what his prarabdha. He went for it, just opposite. Similarly, Swami Dayanji got Diksha from Chinmayanji. But Shiksha was Tarananji and Pranavananji. This Pramana Vichara, you should read that book about Swamiji's biography. He got this clarity about Pramana in that Gudivada, Andhra Pradesh, some Swami called Pranavananji, and studied Brahma Sutra from Tarananji. I don't know what they communicated. Swamiji didn't know Hindi, Tarananji didn't know English. So even, honestly, I exposed him to some Hindi little bit, because Acharya Sabha work came up and I had to talk in Hindi. So he used to ask me what to say in Hindi on the stage, So, and Swamiji used to say, Kabhi Hindi aati hai, kabhi Hindi aata hai. You know why? You know why this is a problem? People can't understand. See, in Sanskrit, all our languages are derived from Sanskrit. Correct? Most of the vernacular language follow the rules of Sanskrit. There is a rule that adjective will follow the gender of the noun it qualifies. And vachanam, if it is singular, adjective also singular. Gender of the noun also will be the same gender of the adjective. So, let's say, Bruhat, big, Phalam. So you say Bruhat Phalam. But there is a big woman, you don't say Bruhat Kanya. You say Bruhada Kanya. Big, there is a gender changes. But in the verb, you don't change the verb according to gender. Like Gujarati, you say Chokro jai se, Chokri jai se. Boy is going, Boy is going, girl is going. But Hindi is different. Ladka jata hai, ladki jati hai. So if you have not studied Hindi, you cannot understand. Therefore, all those people from south come to north, they will change the gender. Uncle aayi thi. You might have heard this word. Auntie gaya tha. She may be right, because auntie may be she may be telling the truth. But then, this is the problem with Hindi. So Swamiji would say, kabhi Hindi aata hai, kabhi Hindi aati hai. Aati hai, and Gujarati is still further. Hindi phati hai. I have no translation for phati. Okay? And psychology, I just don't understand. In flight or somewhere I meet people, I can sense that fellow is Gujarati. Even in Gujarat, they start conversation in Hindi. And Gujarati, Hindi is sentence Gujarati, verb Hindi. Tamaru naam kya hai? I said this. Tame kya na hai? Where are you from? I keep replying in Gujarati, but that idiot doesn't notice. I said, I am answering you in Gujarati. Le, tame Gujarati so, but doba 4 baar bolyo. This is the typical of Gujju. There is a saying कि बाबा बनया है तो हिंदी बोलना पड़ता है. So when they see a Swami, they will speak Hindi only. So anyway, Puja Swamiji, let's get back to Tarananji and Swamiji. I was fortunate enough that I had a very close association with Tarananji. When I was staying in Rishikesh, we were only 8 sadhus and brahmacharis in ashram. Out of them, 6 swamis and 2 brahmacharis. Suddhananjin, Manishananjin, Gopalanjin, all are gone except Suddhananda is there. And being youngest, so all job used to come to me. So Tarananji Seva I used to do. Tarananji never uttered a word. He was so close to me. And when I went out to teach in Rajkot and I come back and I go to him, see him, aa gaye? Haan ji, Swami. That's it. Then I myself will initiate conversation. Swamiji, aaj subah mein aaye. Achha, achha. Then I'll put to motivate him. like Narendra Modi once he said in chamber meeting, I spoke to Manmohan Singh. Everybody laughed. He said, he spoke or not, I am not saying. I spoke. And there was a joke. He went to dentist. And dentist said, open the mouth. He said, let me ask madam. Open the mouth. Anyway, so to initiate conversation, I'll say, Swamiji, sab students aaye hai. Okay, no answer. I used to tell Swamiji, 165 or something around number, always used to be big camps. So, acha. Then I will tell Swamiji, I am going to teach this. Oh, acha. You sit for 1 hour, he will not utter a single word. And he, having come to Haridwar, Rishikesh in young days, used to cycle from Haridwar to Rishikesh to study at Kailas Ashram. And when you will be amused to hear, when Pujya Swamiji came to America, those days in 70s, he asked, वो कैसे जाते हैं अमेरिका, कार से या साइकिल से? He was so innocent. His life was so confined to Shastras. that literally we brahmacharis bought a globe, geography class, bought a globe and explained, this is India and this is America. Then he says, कैसे जाते हैं समुंदर में? Then we had to explain there is aeroplane. Prarabdha. So wise man has no kartavya, wise person. So he may choose to withdraw and he may choose to go with the flow. Puja Swamiji often used to say, I never wanted to do anything, I just wanted to teach. And he was sitting and teaching in the Rishikesh and was called. So Prarabdha demanded. So just sitting at Purani Jhadi became so moving. Same thing happened to me. I was teaching all day long. Daily 4 or 5 classes up to 2003 or 4. And I never imagined that I will end up in this. Swamiji told you do. So chalo prarabdha hai karo. So Yajnavalkya chose not to do anything. That's okay. But you can't judge a person whether he or she is wise or not by his actions or non-action. That is our problem. The typical Indian problem is this: Swamiji, so and so Swami is a great Swami. He is a Gnani. I said, how do you know? He has kept Maunam for last 5 years. He is a great Swami. He sleeps down. He is a great Swami. He doesn't keep money. What has to do with knowledge? It has nothing to do with knowledge. Whether you keep money or not, these matters. Your attitude to money matters. I told you the other day, everything is vyavahararthi. Nothing can give me fulfillment, moksha. That understanding is vairagya. Then use it. If you have to work, use it. What's wrong in it? But people have all funny ideas. They say there was one Baba in Rishikesh, those days. He used to live on the Ganges bed only. What Baba? Naishkarmya Baba. What kind of Naishkarmya? I don't know. He's a very Gnani Mahatma. People used to say. I said, why Jnani? Bola Naishkarmya hai. Kuch karte nahi hai. By not doing anything, you become Gnani. San Francisco has so many Gnanis. All Mexican fellows here in those living in car and all those, these fellows, tents and all that, they are Gnanis. बोले वो खाना भी नहीं खाते, कोई खिलाता है तो खाते. Naishkarmya Baba. I said, does he chew or not? That much karma you have to do. This physical action has nothing to do with Naishkarmya. In spite of doing I am akarta, that is wisdom. Karmani akarma yapashyat. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto mannita tattvaid. Pashyan shunvan spushan jigran nashnan gachan swapan swasan pralapan visrujan napi. Krishna was Naishkarmya, in spite of doing all this. But you have all fantasy ideas. External lingas doesn't justify the wisdom. May be useful. It is exactly like singing bhajan very melodiously. Doesn't prove that fellow is a devotee. There is a hell of a difference between Meera singing bhajan and modern bhajan cars on the dais giving programs. They always drink water in a steel glass. There is rahasya. You may do bhajan, but where is your mind? That bhakti is your awareness about Ishvara, nothing to do with what you do. Anyway, how can I overcome emotional investment and see how that keeps me from knowing the self. There is, listen, nothing wrong having emotions, okay? And you cannot be without emotion. It's reality. Just you have a mind which has a capacity to emote, you will have. Emotion per se is not bad. Don't blame emotions. But when you say emotional involvement, to involve emotionally also not bad. All of you are emotionally involved in Vedanta. That's why you are coming to class. Some of you have emotional involvement with me also. Your own Guru, your own Swami, you have. Nothing wrong in it. What is a problem? Emotions itself is not a problem. Emotions clouding your wisdom is a problem. When wisdom is clouded, you cross the boundaries. Dharma Maryada gets crossed. When you are saying involvement, I guess in relationship, the one thing which we need to run, we often relate people ideally. We are carried away by ideals. I have to be like this. And so we don't draw boundaries in relationship. And the other person takes advantage of you. And then you feel hurt. I am so good, but that person is doing this. It is exactly like in Hindi saying, "Ah, bell mujhe maar." So bell marega hi. Why should he not? If you make yourself available to be exploited emotionally, the person will. Involve emotionally, but draw boundaries in every relationship, in everything you do. That is called yuktatvam. I told you in the morning, what is sadhana? Savdani hi sadhana. Dashratha is a classic example of being carried away by emotions. What is the character of Dashratha? Promise in haste, repent in leisure. That's all it is. Even after making one mistake, he didn't learn. When Vishwamitra came suddenly to his court, see that emotion of love, emotion of respect, emotion of reverence also should have boundaries. Two examples of Dashratha. Emotion without boundary only causes problem. He was so overjoyed. He couldn't believe that Vishwamitra has come uninvited. That to my doorstep. He was a great saint of the time. Gayatri Mantra Drashtara, contemporary of Vasishtha ji, who challenged Vasishtha. All the stories are there. He could create new heaven for the Trishanku. Tishta, Tishta. Anya Swargam, he created the new heaven. Very powerful yogi. And knowledge also, Brahmanishta. Never used to go, even after invitation. He was so overtaken by his emotions of love and reverence. He said, since you have come, what can I do for you? And kept on giving list what he can do for him. I am at your service. My kingdom is at your service. My whole coffer is at your service. My children are also at your service. Till then Vishwamitra was still, like our Narendra Modi. He doesn't speak, he just watches. You don't know whether he liked it, doesn't like, what is his opinion. He has a habit of like this, sthira. When he said, I swear by my children, they are for your seva, I want them. No, how can you take them? They are very young and they are teenagers and there are demons and blah blah blah. Backtrack. And Vasishtha had to intervene. You don't know him. But more than him, you don't know your children. We both know who is he. He is not your son. He is a great grandfather of whole universe. Send him. With a heavy heart he gave up. Promise in haste, repent. Kaikai, sitting in a Kopa Bhavanam. You know the story. He goes, you should read Valmiki Ramen. Like a teenage proposing on Valentine's Day. All the promises he gives to her. What can I do for you? When he said, I swear by Rama, ask for. Do you remember? I had come with you in heaven. You fought the battle and I put my finger and saved you. You gave me 2 minutes. Are you asked? And then she said, Nava Panchacha Varshani. 9 and 5 years, not 14. Rama let go to Vanam and let Bharata take care of the kingdom when nobody is here. No. Repent in leisure. Nothing wrong in having emotion. Draw boundaries to your emotions. Even emotion of love, emotion of reverence. You know why they say anger is bad, jealousy is bad? Because those moments you lose your wisdom. You get carried away. You become impulsive. The moment or the moments, the period for which you are impulsive, you are no more human being. Human being has to be cognitive. You are born cognitive. Cognition, your buddhi should be enlightened about dharma, adharma, kartavya, akartavya. And that should be the radar for your life. Emotions take over, that radar doesn't work. Impulse works. Therefore they say keep away. So, nothing wrong in involving, but learn to draw certain boundaries in relations. Often we do the things not because it is necessary, but we want to do. We feel it is necessary. Certain likes and dislikes, certain values that you inculcated them for yourself. Certain iti kartavyata, I have to do, that sense you have, that pushes you to do. The other person doesn't think you should do. And then you feel hurt. I did so much. And whenever you do, remember, I do because I want to do, full stop. That's okay. If they want, it's fine. But I am enjoying doing, do it. And forget it. Learn to love what you do. Generally we do out of sense of duty. So we push ourselves. And then the expected response doesn't come, then you get hurt. I pushed myself and that person this. This is a problem. Don't do that. What is the definition of Jiva? Is it all beings or only human beings? Any sentient being is Jiva. Technically, Jiva is Karta Bhokta. That is Ahankara. With reference to human. sense of doership, sense of enjoyership. I have to do and I enjoy. That is Jiva. In other words, a sense centered on I. What is my estimation, my understanding about myself? I am tuchha. I am insignificant. I am little. And what? I am dukhi. Not simply dukhi. I am mahadukhi. Nobody is dukhi like me. That is Jiva. That sense is Jiva. That sense of smallness, limitedness is caused by what? If you ask the person, why are you dukhi? Why do you feel you are insignificant? Why do you feel helpless? Oh, Swamiji, you don't know. I don't know and I don't want to know also. But the thing is, Swamiji, I am aging. I have arthritis. I have rheumatism. My knees have gone. So much of pain. My husband is like this. My wife is like this. Modern children, you don't know, Swamiji. From there onwards, this president is useless. Modi is better. Bring him here as though he is a vastu I can put in a bag and bring him here. All complain. I am unhappy because of something outside me. One. And I am unhappy because of my body, mind, etc. Emotionally dissatisfied, physically dissatisfied, cognitively certainly dissatisfied. Every person working in office feels, I am not paid worth what I am. They always feel my boss doesn't know anything. I who work in the department, he knows how to talk, that's all. Because of me. And boss think, Kana bar chara nahi no ave. This fellow doesn't know anything, because of me he is surviving. I should be in a position of my boss. Dissatisfied. Swamiji, you don't know what I have done for my family. Nobody has a value for me. Dissatisfied. Sense of dissatisfaction is centered on physio-psycho complex. You know what is modern culture? Modern culture is to add more dissatisfaction. Modern society creates more dukkham. When we were young, we never had any dissatisfaction with our hair. Never. This is how it is, full stop. Now they have dissatisfaction with this hair also. This hair also. Color of the skin, baldness, all kinds of problems. Moment he does prata darshanam, prabhate kara darshanam, bathroom prabhate mukha darshanam, this is not okay. From there it starts. More conscious about how I look. Modern society. More conscious about what is my weight. The fellow who are black, they want to become fair. India, there are advertisements. This is Maya. Understand? What is Maya? Fair and lovely. And then fair and lovely for man. There is a new thing. What is it? Saat din mein muh ka nikhar. They will show a lady with a black tint, and slowly 1, 2, 3, seventh day, she is shining, face is shining, and she gives commentary on a TV screen, becomes anchor. Saat din mein muh ka nikhar. Idiot. Try in South Africa. Nothing happens. This is Ishvara's original color. and simple science that pigments within decide the color. Dissatisfaction. Modern culture has more dissatisfaction centered on body. More dissatisfaction centered on emotions. That's what we say, we don't have space for others. We live in cocoon. So that is Jiva. Okay? Constantly unhappy. Constantly, that Swamiji used to say, what is the life? Dukha, 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 sukha. Dukha, 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 sukha. Dukha, dukha. Like that fellow who is drowning. And the fellow will be suffocated for more time. Suddenly comes out. When he goes in, moves hands and legs, comes out and just stops. Boop, again. Some sukha, like they say, in Yamaloka, they give you all yatnas. With a hunter and they roast you and they fry you and all kinds of things. Descriptions are there. But then you don't die. Because you are on the verge of dying, suddenly Amruta will be sprinkled. Ready for next yatna. That is samsara, jiva. I am told that in deep sleep I am as close as I can be to the real self. If that is the state of enlightenment, how can an enlightened one act in samsara? Half the sentence is partially true. You are closer to self, but you don't know that you are closer to self. Sleep is a state of total ignorance. I have been telling, ajnana is twofold. Like, I don't know Japanese. I just don't know anything. So there is a non-apprehension. But when we say Atma Agnanam, there is a non-apprehension caused misapprehension. Exactly like our Rajju Sarpa. Not that I don't know what it is, but I know that it is snake. In sleep, there is no misapprehension. That self-identity is momentarily, for those moments, is as though dissolved. It is in a seed form. And I told you other day, like modern example, your computer screen is in a power saver mode. That aham, that self-identity which you have is not there. But you don't know who am I. So it is said that you are closer to self. Okay? You can say. But that close word is also not proper. Because you can go closer to somebody if it is away from you. Atma is nitya prapta. Where is going away? It's a figurative use. And therefore you feel happy. Sleep is an experience of happiness. Because that ahankara is dissolved momentarily. Could you tell us about your 3 years course and the eligibility for that? I left 45 years ago. Now it's all different. Those days, Puja Swamiji used to take young men and women who are minimum graduate and who have some job and they are earning. Not for the money's sake, but it is not that they are running away from the world. It's a well thought of decision. That was only criteria. And he had that intuition. When he used to meet, he will say, come, come. Some people he said no also. But now Swamiji having gone and there are different acharyas and they run in their own way. Like management has changed, system has changed. So, and as such, there are no courses for 3 years going on now. There was one that was there in Anaikati, but it ended a year or two ago, and that Swamiji, Acharya there doesn't want to teach. Yajnavalkya syndrome, I guess. He wants to teach some text to only selected students. So he has only 231 and he teaches. Other one is in Rishikesh, which is going on. It may be coming to end. I don't know when Rishikesh Acharya is Sakshatji. I don't know when he will start the new course. So, and it's too late for Rishikesh course also, but I guess now he must be teaching Brahma Sutra or something. He's completing this year. So I don't know whether Swamiji had done course in US also, 2 courses. Here also no some long-term courses are taking place. I might start mid-term course. I have a desire and there are people wanting me to teach. Maybe I may take 6 months or 3 months course in August, September. But that would be in Hindi, okay, not in English, because I'll be doing in India. Either at Rajkot or Ahmedabad. There are 8-10 students who wants that. So I'll have to restructure my work and things and sit and teach. You can keep in touch with the Coimbatore and Rishikesh and inquire with me by August. Maybe something I may start. Or I'll let her know if I start. I wish to, but I don't have time to think over. My last 3 months are so back to back. So, everyone says happiness is within. How to experience it within? What everyone says is not proper. Happiness is not within, happiness is you. You are happiness. And if at all you want to use the word within, you should understand the context. What does it mean by within? Closing the eyes and looking within doesn't make sense. And they mystify it. Meditate. Look within. And they change the tone of the language, Dive deep within. As though there is diving pad and there is a motion to dive. They become poetic. You can't be poetic in teaching. Teaching doesn't happen, you become poetic. You become poetic, then there is emotional euphoria, nothing else. You can't have mathematics teacher becoming poetic. Oranges are good. I love oranges. And sing a poem on oranges and they say, Mohan had 5 oranges. Ramesh had 7. How many total? Baby will go in imaginary world. He will not learn mathematics. Think of all your teachers. None of them became poetic in teaching you, except the language teacher. And that also they were not successfully poetic. Otherwise you would have become linguist. Would have inspired that. So you can't. These are all some new things have crept up in our tradition. I can explain what is within, but they can't. You see how this came. There is a mantra in Kathopanishad. Paranchikhani Vetrunat Swayambhuhu Tasmat Parang Pashyati Nantaratman Kaschid Dhiraf Pratyagatmanam Aikshat Avritta Chakshuhu Amrutatvam Icchan. Yamaraja says to Nachiketa, what is the nature of creation? Or what is Maya? How does Maya manifest? He says, Bhagavan has given all sense organs to be extrovert, looking outside. Eyes look outside, ears hear outside. Outside me, outside body. And what is the manifestation of Maya? This is it. Look at this. No mother has ever told a baby, American baby, Canadian, British, Japanese, African, Indian, whatever. Oh, honey, American mother. There is happiness in dolls. There is happiness in chocolate. There is happiness in toys. Mother doesn't tell. Baby is not available for communication. The cognitive faculty has not opened up. Even before that, child looks for happiness something outside world. Right from day one. If I eat chocolate, I will be happy. If I have these toys, I will be happy. If I wear this, I will be happy. Something like that. And when that desire is not fulfilled, baby gives tantrums. That is, you naturally seek happiness from something other than you. That is Maya. We often use these words, extrovertedness and introvertedness. No, introvertedness doesn't mean close the eyes and look within. And the person who looks around doesn't mean he or she is extrovert. Extrovert means the person who is searching for peace and happiness in the external world. By restructuring the relationships and possessions and situations, I will be happy. Futuristic person. In future I will be happy, not now. That is extrovert. Who is introvert? They don't want to change the world, but they are in their own world. Like poets, writers, artists, they are introvert. They find happiness in their own self, in some occupation. So with reference to this natural tendency to be happy, to seek happiness or peace, by changing the world is, therefore, they say, look within. But there is no within. Understand? Because Atma is sarvavyapi. Where is within and without? So, you don't need to experience within. Every experiential happiness or every experience of happiness is your experience. So you have to discover the self. Learn Shastra. That's all. Could we explain the laws of karma? For example, if a person A drops something bad to person B, we say that it is because of person B's past bad karmas. But it could be that person B did not commit bad karma in the past, but person A is committing bad karma to him, and the person A will get his bad karma's fruits either in this life or in next. Correct. 100% correct. When we say it is my papam because of which I am suffering, not necessary. That other person is committing papam because we are gifted with free will. Like accident. When you meet with accident, not necessarily your prarabdha was there for accident. It can be misuse or abuse of free will of the other driver. But you take it as your prarabdha. That's why this sentence has come. When you take it as your prarabdha, then there is no hurt and guilt and complaints. That sense, why me, is not there. To neutralize that upadrava, the word upadrava we saw in, upadrava within, you say it is my karma, but not necessary. Okay? It is to help me. Not that you are justifying other person. That is where you have to draw boundaries. Don't let them do. Why should you allow? No. In spite of that, other person schemes and plans and harasses. not necessarily your karma. He is incurring papa for himself by inflicting dukkham to you, which you don't deserve. What should be our behavior with a person whom we know he or she plays games with us? Don't let her play game. That's it. Or you start countering the game, as simple as that. Especially a close relative or a friend. Should we isolate with them? See, this is what I mean by drawing boundaries. This is what I mean by we live in ideals. No, it is my duty, I should do. Like they say, I know yesterday only somebody was talking about. My husband told me as a younger brother, and it is our duty to do that thing to elder brother. But what duty did the elder fulfill? We have had a duty-based society. But that can work if both fulfill duties. It is exactly like traffic movement. In US, there are less traffic jams and easy movements because each one follows what one has to do. But same US guy comes in India and drives. You know what happens. Everybody pushes. And everybody is doing. So either learn to push yourself or get out, don't drive, full stop. So that traffic rule has to be followed by all. Similarly, kartavya has to be done by all. You see, the person who is playing game means he or she is exploiting your emotions. He is exploiting your idealism. Don't let that do. Draw a boundary. Why? Don't think you are committing papa. By letting him do, you are doing papam by spoiling that person. It is my duty to do. But provided that person is in his or her boundaries. By becoming idealist, you are creating hurt and guilt within yourself. And making your life miserable and others' life also miserable. Your near dear ones. Ultimately, you victimize your husband or wife for your pressure. You victimize your children. So don't do that. This is what we have to learn from Krishna Bhagavan. And this is what you should learn from Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira did that stupidity. You see, it is mentioned in Mahabharata. Yudhishthira was invited for a game of dice. He was Dharmaraja, committed to dharma, committed to duty. If somebody invites you for a game of dice, and you must accept the invitation, it is not the mandate of Shastra. It was only a convention. What it was? Convention. Like modern marriages. I see in India, I don't know whether American Hindus follow these or not. When the groom comes, and that the girl comes with a garland to garland him. And that time, the boy's relative lift him up. Most painful for the lady, Indian sari, and all Sugri Mala nest best, she has gone to beauty parlor and fixed up so many things. Fixed up her face also. Clothes are also straight one all, and they have to lift her. A convention. Why should you follow? I know a couple of my students told their future husband, get down if you want to marry. Otherwise I am going. Straight came down. What else? His uncles were lifting him. Hey, chodo, chodo, chodo. Utaro niche. He himself kept telling, put me down, put me down. They were lifting him. Convention. Nothing to do with the marriage ceremony. See, Yudhishthira could have straightway refused. I am not coming. Fine. You have a free will to choose and you chose to go. You know the story? First time he lost everything. Shakuni played the dice and he lost. Dhritarashtra as a king had a guilt. It is a game plan. Shakuni and Duryodhana. As a king, he used his power and gave back everything. And reprimanded Duryodhana, don't do this. This is wrong. See, without boundary. Dhritarashtra is an ideal case of a father who doesn't know boundaries to the son. Putrasakti. He kept on emotionally blackmailing him. I am committing suicide. First of all, he kept blaming him. You did that, you did that. Still, Dhritarashtra didn't budge. He said, I will commit suicide. Then Dhritarashtra gave in. Okay, invite him second time. When invited, Dhritarashtra gave a message. Though there is invitation, but you may choose not to come. Still that idiot came. No boundaries. Knowing fully well he is playing game. Same condition, Duryodhana said, on my behalf Shakuni will throw the dice. He knew Shakuni will throw loaded dice. He could have refused. We are playing, you throw yours and I throw my. Why Shakuni? And if you want Shakuni, I will call my Krishna. No, over. He could have said that. He should have said. If I were him, I would have said, okay, have Shakuni. After one experience. You can't do that. This is a, there. It is a prop. You blame Duryodhana, but it is a problem of Yudhishthira. Why should I be so idealistic? No. How can I do that? He does wrong thing. How can I do wrong? You are not doing wrong. Like that Modi had said before becoming a prime minister. Very sarcastically he said, when Pakistan aake maar jata, he write a letter to Obama. Obama save us. Usko samjhao. Then Sharad, that fellow, आपकी अदालत वाला क्या समझाना चाहिए? जो भाषा में समझे उसमें समझाओ. बोले क्या भाषा? बोले मैं बताऊंगा. He conveyed. There can't be ahimsa paramo dharma. It doesn't work. All dharmas have boundaries. They are relative in application. Sometimes asatyam becomes satyam. And sometimes himsa becomes ahimsa. And so-called ahimsa becomes himsa. You can't afford to do that. Hindi chini bye-bye. What bye-bye? It cannot be one-way bye-bye. So, this Yudhishthira allowed himself to be played upon. Why should you? And not only he suffered, but he made his brothers and the wife and mother to suffer. Suppose we buy his argument by refusing to play, I am doing adharma papam, but you are doing bigger papam, larger papam. Better don't do. So never let anyone cross the boundary and never let anyone to play games with you. You must give clear message. Thus far, no further. Don't become gullible emotionally. You are allowing them to play because of some emotions or certain ideals. Shanti, Shanti. Living pigeons. That is called Nehru Chacha alignment, okay? Non-alignment. Doesn't work that way. Ahimsa paramo dharma is there. But the second line is dharma himsa tathaivach. Means to do himsa for dharma is also ahimsa. Ahimsa is param dharma. It's ultimate thing which you must follow. But for dharmartha, himsa is also, ahimsa is param dharma. Exactly like you can't ask policeman to be ahimsaka. He catches this robber, thief. Come on, tell Satyam. Satyam vada. Dharmam chara. Please tell. You don't. You need Yogiji for Atik. You can't have other. You need bulldozer, full stop. These guys will not understand the language of communication. Look at politics in India. This fellow, so many things, but this Atik who was killed recently, the Don of UP, had taken over the land belonging to some relative of Firoz Gandhi, Indira's husband. Sonia's father-in-law's cousin or somebody's land in Lucknow just took over like a Don. This is my land from tomorrow. Get out. That lady and the person requested Sonia and he got back. It used to fetch crores of rupees. But still Congress saying, oh, this is himsa. What himsa? This fellow has to be punished, full stop. So himsa is also dharma. Judge punishing somebody sentenced to death or life imprisonment is not himsa, it is ahimsa. So playing games to some, I don't say you start playing, but at least draw a boundary so that they may not trample upon your feet. One must learn. This is how the society is. This is how the human society is. They always want to exploit the weak. That's what international policies are. Strong nations are bullying the weaker. I had told in that Vishwa Hindu Parishad, nothing will save you. It was my speech, was key evening plenary speech I had told. Then there were some 3,000 plus delegates. Global Hindu meeting was there. Exploitation of weak is everywhere. Human. So you don't become weak to be exploited, full stop. You be strong. How do I experience God? See, if in your perception or your definition God is Krishna, Rama, Hanuman, etc., to experience that God, you need to do some upasana, puja, some japa, some tapas, some dhyanam. But if you understand God as a self, if you know, at least accept this is the fact, Ishwar is Atma, then you don't need to experience, you need to know yourself. You have to study Shastra. These experiences of God are really divine, something exalted, something absorbing, but it will not solve your fundamental problem. Momentarily you will feel happy and content. And momentarily you will feel peace. But certain basic human tendency will not go. I can give you nth number of example and simple thing. All our demons, Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, had seen God. And not only seen God, had a dialogue with a God. But Kama, Krodha, Lobha didn't go. Having met with the God, having had a dialogue with the God, having had a boon from the God, that fundamental problem of insufficiency didn't go. This is Jiva. Who is Jiva? Pepsi Cola. What is Pepsi Cola? In India there used to be advertisement. Ye dil mange more. More is not Gujarati, or the peacock. More means English more. This heart wants more. That is Jiva. Money, still more. Power, still more. Pleasure, still more. Anything. Possessions, more. Why? In spite of having everything, I feel I am not complete. In spite of so-called having everything, I feel I am unhappy. Just certain things we don't look into it. We just gloss over. Look at this. What Ravana had it. Think of it. You may have air-conditioned house. You may have air-conditioned office. Whole office air-conditioned. Your car air-conditioned. But can you have the whole city air-conditioned? Lanka was centrally air-conditioned. You have so many good gardens. You have to mow the lawn and varieties of flowers. Ravana's garden was maintained by Indra. Can you imagine? Every crossroads, char rasta, there was pub, discotheque, freely available, no payment. You give this in California, somebody told me, this was the third person who told me, it started these migrations and what do you call those footpath livers, they live in tent, what do you say? Homeless. It has started 6-7 years ago. Then also downtown in 16, 17 I had seen people asking and having homeless. Now it is more. Homeless will always say, sir, I have nothing to eat. Yesterday, third person told me, he gave him $20. He went in and brought a bottle. Thank you, sir. Nothing to eat. He brought a bottle. But Lanka, homeless had a free bottles. How much wealth? Whole Lanka was of gold, not gold plated. Our temples are getting gold plated, Somnath and Kashi Vishwanath, but it was gold. What wealth! I have seen the palace of Muscat King had gone for bhiksha. It was only fruit bhiksha, because I can't eat those. What they serve. Pillars are gold plated. Plates are golden. Few years ago the news came, Saudi king gifted a commode, golden commode to his daughter. So much of money. But you may give commode, the whole house is gold. What amount of wealth. What a power. Think of the power. Devatas were servant. And what a satisfaction as a father. My son is Indrajit. His son was so powerful who could win Indra. Adhipati. Same problem. Ye dil mange more. You should see the whole Sundarkanda of Valmiki Ramen. Hanumanji describes the whole harem of Ravana. The women that he had kidnapped. Still missing one, Sita. Same. A baby of 3 years or 5 years every time makes a deal with the parents when mom takes him to Walmart or something. This is the last toy. You have 100. No, this is the last one. This is the last one. Last one never comes. That is Jiva. It doesn't solve. So having seen God also, it will continue. It may be harsh on you, but please be objective and listen. We think we can be bhakta and see God once. Oh, ecstatic. And you keep elaborately describing and people respect you and all that. Just think of Arjuna. What a great bhakta he was. The great shabda bhi chota hai. All this Tulsi and Meera and Kabir, and we call them bhakta, but none of them were given certificate that you are bhakta by God. Bhagavan himself gives certificate to Arjuna, hey, you are my bhakta. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam ye taduttam. He was a bhakta so much that twice in Mahabharata, Krishna says this, twice. Know me to be servant of Pandavas. And it was open secret among the Pandavas, he had a partiality for Arjuna. Clear. He helped Arjuna for kidnapping his own sister, Subhadra. Knowing fully well that Arjuna was already married, how much trust and love he had for Arjuna. In the 11th chapter, when Arjuna sees that Vishwarupa Darshanam, he showed, who am I? Then he realized, माय बाप माफ कर जो आवा था खबर नहोती क्षमा करना आहार विहार शय्यासन भोजनेषु बोले while eating and sleeping and I must have made fun of you and does please forgive me. I never knew you are this and I am sorry for that. He had that freedom. What a power. He fought with Shiva. What a yasha. The most respectable, noble family. And Valerie, in spite of having all this, if I put it in English, Krishna at his beck and call. Available. Now tell me, what was Krishna for Arjuna in Mahabharata war? Tell me. Come on. What was he? Sarthi means driver. Sarthi gives a good sense, but actually a driver. He assumed, took a role of driver. What a bhakta. Driver is at the more risk than the owner in Ratha, according to those warfare. So he risked his life for Arjuna. Still, problem was there. In Gita he said, Nahi prapashyami mama panudyat yachhokamuchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumo vasapatnam ruddham rajyam suranam api. He said, I don't think my fundamental problem of dil maage more will be solved. In the first chapter he told something wrong, something amusing. He said, Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. He is looking at Krishna and said, oh Krishna, I am seeing bad omens. He is a punyat. Krishna is a Bhagavan. બોલે તમને જોઈને એવું લાગે છે અપસુકન થાય. અરે what is this? He was so carried away by the emotion. Nimittani cha pashyami viparitani Keshava. He is seeing and talking him. Experiencing God will not solve the problem. That's all I want to say. And nothing else will solve. Nowadays we go for meditation. Sakshi Bhava, all spiritual supermarket. Indian gurus. This kriya and that thing, all bakwas. If anything would have solved the problem, do you think Krishna was dumb? Why should he teach him? Arjuna clearly asked, I want moksha. Yat shreyasyat nishchidam bruhi. He could have said, do bhajanam, jinchik, 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 jinchik. He would have started bhajan kirti. He would have said, Jari ji, Loti ji, what to do here? Something you do. You do Tirth Yatra. You do Dhyanam. Something he would have said, if that used to solve the problem. He taught him. Nothing will solve. Pardon, it may be harsh for you, but this is pramanam. And I am pained to tell this. Today, we have lost this tradition of almost losing teaching tradition. We have converted into mysticism and some experience and some every guru. There is a population growth in India of not only people but gurus and bhagwans also. It's good. Have an experience. But then I am sure when you have experience of God, Bhagavan will tell you, go to Paramatma, local Paramatma. And study Gita and Upanishad. I am original Paramatma, but Bhagavan will say to you, go to study. That's Ishwar Krupa. What is the meaning of life? Why does it matter if we make our choice or another? What is the purpose of humanity and each incarnations? See, the uniqueness or beauty, or I don't know what adjective to use, the greatness of our Veda or our Dharma is, it clearly defines purpose of life. And they say, purpose is same, irrespective of your belief. Muslims also have same purpose. Christian also has the same purpose. American, African, Japanese, Asian, Indian, everybody. So not only it defines clearly the purpose of life, it tells the means to achieve that also. You don't need to ask me this question. You ask yourself. What is it that I am seeking? Whatever may be the purpose. What is it that I am wanting from day one? Which I said on the first day. You want to get rid of any kind of dukkha. And you want total happiness. That's all the purpose. Who doesn't want? Nobody works to be unhappy. You may make mistake in getting married. One may work to get married to somebody and then realize, I shouldn't have. But then you work for happiness, to be happy, to be complete, to be satisfied. That's all the purpose is. You don't need me to tell. You make any choice. Doesn't matter. As long as you be happy. Nothing wrong in it. But not happy only, permanently happy. You want to be happy at all times, all places, and under all circumstances. And why Shastra questions certain choices? They may make you happy, but it is temporary. It will not make you permanently happy. That is Vairagya, discovery. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamaya nasti akrata kratena. Our Shastras tell even going to heaven also, you don't become permanently happy, which you want. All other pursuits in life bring about commas and semicolons, but not full stop. Any acquisition, any restructuring, any positioning, it is there. Even in heaven you will come back. In heaven I told you, nobody has a citizenship. And H1 visa is only with Devtas. All are on visitor visa with debit card, not even credit card. Once punya is over, back to the world. Thank God. Otherwise, all Patels will be there. Gujarati Patels will take care of the heaven. And all malls and departmental stores and all these motels would have been owned by Gujjus. So no left, nothing for Indra and Chandra and wife. And so, please make those choice so that you can be permanently happy. The best choice is twofold. To discover nothing can make me permanently happy and I am permanent happiness. Choice to know myself is the best choice. What is the purpose of humanity and each incarnation? Humanity is meant for your growth. More human you are, more you grow. Who is human? Then humanity abstract noun comes. In Sanskrit, there is a definition, Manavaha. Who is a Manavaha? Though you might have heard Manoho Apatyam, descendants of Manu. No. In Vedic dictionary, Manava is one who has Maryada. Maryada for what? To grow out of my certain this is not a good word, but I am using it, to grow out of my animalistic instincts, to grow out of my reactions. That is a manava. To be human is a real growth. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyametat pashubhir narana. It is common. Artha kama. Ahar, nidra, bhay. All pashus also do. What makes you human if you live a life of dharma? Dharma means kartavya. Kartavya means maryada. And purpose of each incarnation is different. Primarily killing adharmi. Not simply adharmi, leader of adharmis. who motivates people to be on the life of adharma. It is dharma that will sustain the society, the world. And they will bring destruction. When society lives a life of adharma, before the pralaya comes, it can come to end. So to set the things right, Bhagavan comes. But two things. When there is human incarnation, we have all avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, then Ramakrishna. In every avatar he killed. Nrsimha avatar ho, ya Vaman avatar, he killed. In Mana avatar he killed many. Rama finished so many demons before killing to Ravana, and Krishna also did. But there is one more purpose. The purpose of incarnation as a human being is Martyanam Shiksharthaya Martya Avatar. Bhagavan exemplifies certain cultural, religious values, lives within these boundaries, so that we learn from it. Just one example. As I said, we gloss over. These kathakars don't tell. Bhagavad, jinchikichi, nanda gera, nanda bhayo, jinchikichi, jinchikichi. Jai Kanaiya Lal ki, jinchikichi. It goes on. It is there in Bhagavatam. See, this is our problem. We don't look at Shastra. Listen Katha and come back. This Bhagavatam is available in India for $5. Even water bottle is more costly. And that also Hindi, Gujarati, all translation is there. Suppose you don't know Sanskrit. They may import. Import may be $11, but we don't buy. You buy that big popcorn and Pepsi Colas full of calories, but not Bhagavatam. And get into jinchik chik chik, jinchik chik, utsav. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam. When Krishna killed this Asura, Kamsa, and things were set right, Devaki tells to her husband Vasudeva, in marriage, the last Fera, she leads. She has to lead him for dharma and moksha. Generally, women only teach husband. Then they follow for class and swamis and temples. It is not otherwise. Very rarely otherwise nowadays. She tells her husband, Vasudeva, for some reasons, our son has not been given samskaras. He has remained asamskritaha. Do samskara. And he has remained as a cowherd, roaming around in the forest. Make him dvijaha and send him to Guru. This is what I am saying, glossing over. Bhagavata mentions that Vasudeva performed Yagnopavitam for Krishna. And after Yagnopavitam, as the rule is, the child has to go to Gurukulam, Gurukul Vasa. Krishna went to Sandipani. In Ujjaini, there is ashramam. If you go to Ujjaini, Ujjaini has so many tirthas. It's not only Mahakalas. There is Ishtadevi of Vikramaditya also. So many. There is some Ganapati also. So many things. It's a 3-day trip. And more so with this corridor, it's 4-day trip. Worth watching. Especially at night. He went and did Guru Seva. That's how he met Sudama. Befriended Sudama. And gave Guru Dakshina. Guru's Patni asked, bring back my son. And he brought him. Do you think he needed to study? He was Sarvagna. He knew Indra had ego. So he lifted Govardhanam. That is Sarvashaktiman. He didn't took out the geometry, foot paper and what is center of gravity, then push the finger. And like Kathakali dancer, when he does Nataraj action, she just moves like this, because can't hold. He held it on one finger. He didn't do that. Nothing. Sarva Shaktiman. Ishvara. Brahmaji, he knew what happened. Brahmaji had a moha. He kidnapped all those Gwalbalas and all that. And he took them and went to Brahmaloka and looked back. Before he looked back, there was xeroscopy available. Sankalpa matrena. Without doing, he is sleeping. He is a Sarvagna Sarva Shaktiman. What he needs to study? Nothing. It is mentioned in 64 days, he studied all 64 Vidyas that were available. What for? Why should he do Guru Seva? Why should he give Guru Dakshina? To teach you guys, give Guru Dakshina. Just lighter, okay? Enjoy. This is to teach Martyanam Shikshartha, that you can gain Vidya from Guru only. And to gain Vidya, you have to do Guru Seva. Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. It has to be done. So Martyanam Shiksharthaya, to teach us how to conduct. He lived as ideal. In fact, I don't know how you will feel, but I'm sure you'll be happy to know. It is there in Bhagavatam even after becoming Dwarkadish, there is mention. Every day he would go to Gomti bank, morning, evening, Samudra bank, that the seashore, and do Sandhya Vandanam and Argyam to Surya. And now some followers of Krishna says, we don't have Yagnopavita. What is it? Krishna himself had it. Throughout the life he did Gayatri Japa. He did Sandhya Vandanam, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam. This is teaching. Hindu must have, that is samskara, and must do Gayatri. Gayatri mantra is for this, Buddhi Shuddhi. Anyway, I think we can keep some other day. It's already, I have overshooted by 20 minutes.
I think what we'll do is last day.
Last day.
We can just collect more.
Collect more.
But you have 3 more days. Maybe question arises.
Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
So, let Swamiji go, and then we're going to follow, wear your shoes, and then next door, inside there is a dining hall. So we'll meet there, we will chant chapter 15. You can chant Gita chapter 15, and then we'll begin our lunch.
You can proceed, somebody may want to meet me. Let them go as they want to go, not that after I go.
No, that's just